Oh, Shaq, what are you gonna do with this?
Well, I don't know, but we're gonna have to revive it.
I mean, how? How are you gonna do that?
A lot of people have tried over the years, they just can't seem to do it, so I think my only solution is to cut it up.
You know, Harrison and I really enjoy cooking in the kitchen, and we want you to join us. So let's have some fun. Welcome to Cooked with Shaq.
Look at you getting all bluesy already.
Woo, yeah.
Welcome back to another season of Cooked with Shaq. I'm Shaq. Harrison, back again. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, it's all good. You know, we've been away for a while. We've done a couple of shows with a iPhone, but you know, hey, things you got to do what you got to do, right?
That's
But
right.
now we're full at it again in the kitchen. Woo. We're going to be doing part of the show in here, and then part of it from my pirate bar.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun. Now, you saw the opening sequence. We were talking about, you know, we were looking at this big piece of pork.
Serious stuff, man.
Well, the problem is with pork is that, you know, when you were a kid, your mom would cook the heck out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it would
Totally.
be dry. It would be like you go, oh my God, I can't.
Add sauce, ketchup, whatever.
Exactly.
Just to,
You just had to add something to it. Well, I'm telling you right now, those days are gone because our Canadian pork is the safest pork you can possibly have. There's no hormones. There's nothing like that. It's all great pork. And you can also have it at lower temperatures, too. Like when your mom or my mom would cook pork back in the day, it'd be like, you know, your internal temperature would be 250 degrees. Well, no wonder. Now you're eating charcoal practically, right?
Yeah.
But now you can have it around 160, even 155. You can have it a little bit pinkish because it's so healthy. Okay, so what we want to do is teach you how to make pork so that it is nice and juicy, flavorful, and a little bit more exciting than just having a piece of meat on your plate, right? Which is okay. That's right, as long as it's done right. So we've got this pork loin. Now don't mistake this for the tenderloin. The tenderloin is the small piece that is just inside the ribs, which is very, you know, nice piece of meat and very tender. This one is a little bit, this is the one that can become dry if you overcook it. This is the loin, the pork loin. So what we want to do, and make it a little bit more fun for everybody, and maybe the kids are going to love this too, we're going to do today bacon, mac and cheese stuffed pork loin. Bacon, mac and cheese, pork stuffed loin. Okay. So now you have to have your pork pieces fairly thick because you want to cut pockets in them because you're going to stuff them, right? So what you want to do is make sure you get you got a nice piece of meat right there. I want it. We're going hard on this. We're going to go about 1.5 inches. Woo. 1.5 inches cuts. So you want to just get a nice, do about 4 of these. Okay, look at that. Right. Oh, that's just a beautiful piece right there. So 1.5 inches cuts. Now I've got enough meat here that I could probably have pork now for the rest of my life. And you know, it's very inexpensive. That piece of pork loin, this is only half of it. We've cut it in half. But the piece of pork loin that you saw at the beginning of the show, $26 for that entire thing. So yeah, I mean, it's very inexpensive, and it's good for you, and it tastes good as long as you do it properly.
Well, me and the crew could invite our families and everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna just do 4 here tonight.
All right.
So there you go. So we're gonna put this off to the side. Now, I'm gonna leave that for now. I'm gonna cut the pockets in, but I want to start the mac and cheese. So instead of using regular, before we start though, let me just wash my hands.
There we go.
Gotta wash the hands, make sure that, pork is good, but it's maybe not so good if it's raw on your hands, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. So now what we're gonna do is start off the mac and cheese portion. Now we're not going to actually use elbow pasta. We're not going to use butterfly or with those bow ties or whatever they're called. We're going to use orzo. Have you ever had orzo? You've had orzo lemon soup before, haven't you? Have you never had that before? Anyway,
so.
orzo, I'll show you what it looks like. It's
right.
very small little pieces of pasta. Just like this. Here, you can have a look. Just little pieces of pasta,
yeah.
right? And the reason why we're doing that is because it'll make it easier to stuff it into the pork chops. So, we're gonna start off with a big glob of butter.
Oh, we're starting it out right.
Yeah, get it going.
Yep.
Now, we've made this this cheese sauce before on Cooked with Shaq, but I'm just gonna refresh your memory. So get that going with some butter. We've also got a sauce here that I'll tell you about a little bit later on that we're going to cook the loin with. So get that going. Crank up the heat a little bit. When that is ready to roll, you take some cream. Again, you don't have to go heavy cream like whipping cream, but you don't want to go half and half with this type of thing because you want to keep it nice and thick. You don't want to have to reduce it too much. You want to just keep it nice and thick. So you got the butter in there. That looks good already.
It looks great.
I'll tell you. Oh, by the way, I did have some, being that there's bacon in the stuffing, I already made up some bacon, so cut it up into little pieces and pre-cook that, and reserve some of the grease, because you want the bacon grease in there with the butter and the cream.
So much flavor.
Oh, it's all there.
Beautiful.
So now we've got our butter ready to roll. And we're gonna probably put in about, I don't know, maybe about a cup and a half of cream. Into that, we want to dump in about, well, that's a big tub of plain cream cheese, just regular plain cream cheese. And we're going to put in about half of that. And so that just goes in like that. And again, this is going to help it thicken up. All right. Wow. Watch that. You just got to be very careful when you're...
Yeah, that's why I'm over here.
Lucky that wasn't bacon grease, it was just cream. We're good. We're good. Okay. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the next season of Cooked with Shaq. We're just getting going here.
Yeah.
So you got the cream in there. Now what you want to do is let the cream cheese melt off a little bit. And while that's happening, that's when we can come back to the pork. So when you want to cut pockets into the pork, you got to be very careful. You don't want to go all the way through, right? You want to make sure that it's a pocket and you're not cutting it in half like a piece of bread. So you take your piece of loin, pork loin.
This takes a bit of practice.
Oh, it does. It does. So I started off right there. So I would say probably cut a hole. Again, not all the way through. And then you don't want to go all the way down either, because then it's just like you're cutting like a hamburger bun. You don't want that. You want a pocket, an actual pocket. So you'll go in with your knife, and you'll just kind of get in like that, and you'll move it around. You just kind of move it around. You kind of feel where you're at. But you want a nice pocket in there without it being too, all the way through, like I said. So there, now you got a nice little pocket. You can actually open it up a little bit more if you want, just to kind of see where you're at. And then you just go like this. All right, so that's how you do it. It's quite easy, but it just takes a little bit of time to, figure it out for sure. So, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cut the pockets in these pork loins. We're gonna come back, we're gonna finish off the cheese sauce for the bacon, mac, and cheese stuffed pork loin. And to top it off, we're gonna do our cranberry glaze on the barbecue. Pirate Bar, Harreson, Shaq, Cooked with Shaq. We're back in a second.
Sponsored by Sask Pork. Saskatchewan's pork producers are committed to sustainable production of safe, healthy pork for you and your family. For recipes and more, visit saskpork.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Welcome back. It's Cooked with Shaq. Today we are cooking pork loin, and we are fixing it up a little bit. So, the kids love mac and cheese, right? As a matter of fact, I think the big mac and cheese company in this land was saying that mac and cheese is the most famous or the favorite of kids for lunches.
That's exactly what I made my kids for lunch today.
Yeah, mac
That's exactly
and cheese.
what I did. Mac and cheese.
So if they're not big on meat eaters, maybe they don't, maybe there's, it's a little bit, Mom, or Dad, you make the pork too dry, Well, we've decided we're gonna stuff pork loins with mac and cheese. our version of mac and cheese, we're going to be using orzo, which is very tiny little pieces of pasta, and we're going to make our own cheese sauce. So now what we've done is we've got the pork loin already ready to go. The pockets have been cut. We're going to stuff them right away, but we have to do the cheese sauce. So we started off with butter. We've had a little bit of bacon grease because we're going to be adding bacon to the stuffing too. And we had some cream cheese that we put in there, some 18% heavy cream that goes in. Now I've had to add a little bit more cream just because with the cream cheese, it's thickened up just a little bit too much. We just want it to be a little bit more loose, shall we say, when we put the pasta in. So now we're going to bring that to a bit of a boil. Now we're not going to just use cream cheese. We want to go big time.
Yeah.
We want to go big time with the cheese.
That's what we do here.
So we're going to use some cheddar cheese. Now this is the strong stuff because you don't want, please, you don't want the light cheddar. When it's good for your diet, sure, that's fine. Put it on a sandwich. But when you're making cheese sauce or anything like that, it's like adding water to your already nice sauce that you've made. You want good, strong cheese to throw in there. So you got a nice, strong cheddar. You're going to put that about a cup in there.
First thing I noticed when I walked in, the cheese and the bacon.
Yeah, cheese.
And I was like, we're ready to go.
We're back, baby. We're back.
We're back.
Okay, now you also want to put a little Parmesan in there too. I would stay away from the mozzarella with the cheese sauce because then it gets really stringy, and that's. I mean, it's okay, but it's anyhow.
The Parmesan's good. I like it.
Parmesan's good.
I've been adding more of that when I'm doing the cheese stuff.
It's very good
really
when you
good.
just sprinkle it just straight onto pasta.
Totally.
Okay, now we're going to move that around. We're going to get that all incorporated and melted into that already beautiful looking cheese sauce. Okay. Now we're going to turn that down because once it gets bubbling, then that's when it starts to spurt all over the place. Now, we're going to throw in a little garlic. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, just to get kind of a bit of a zip. And we're going to throw in just a zippity-doo-dah.
Hot sauce.
A little hot sauce, okay? So that goes in. We're going to put just a little bit of that. Not a whole lot. We don't want heat. We just want zing. So that's why we add a little bit of the sriracha or your favorite. I would, if you're using Tabasco or anything, go a little lighter, just a couple of drops. But if you're using sriracha or Frank's or anything like that, you can go a little bit more. Okay, so now take a look at that. So now what we want is a little bit of pepper in there.
All fancy here.
Yeah. I have decided that I've been doing this long enough. I deserve to have an electric pepper shaker.
How many batteries have you gone through on that thing already?
About 1,400. Okay. Oh, now she's going hard now. Look at it. Once you got to keep stirring her. Once that gets going, it's bubbling up like Mount Vesuvius over here. You don't need to add any salt because the cheese has the salt in it already. All right. So you don't add. You can try it if you want a little saltier. You can put some in, but I would recommend nay. And then also the bacon's got salt too. So now let's toss in the bacon. Get that ready to go. Okay, so now we're good to toss in the orzo. So this, remember, is your stuffing. This is what we're doing. So we're going to take the orzo and we're just going to put in, I don't know, we made a lot here. We don't need all of that, but I mean, this is also good. The stuffing is good just to eat as a side, totally. If you want to have chicken one night or something,
exactly.
Leftover orzo and cheese sauce. Are you kidding me? Awesome. Okay, so now let's move that around. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this incorporated until it's all nice and thick, and then we're going to stuff those pork loins, okay? It's Cooked with Shaq. We're back. It is bacon stuffed orzo mac cheese stuffed loin. Something like that. We're back in a bit.
Sponsored by Sask Pork. Saskatchewan's pork producers are committed to sustainable production of safe, healthy pork for you and your family. For recipes and more, visit saskpork.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
We're back. It's Cooked with Shaq. I am Shaq. He is Harrison. Today we are making, how do we call it again? We called it the bacon, mac and cheese stuffed pork loin. Because You know, pork sometimes people they think, I gotta cook it. I gotta overcook it. I gotta cook it so it's so tough I can barely chew it. No, that's not the case. That was back in the 40s. You don't do that anymore. Pork is healthy, it's safe, everything is fine with pork. It's great here in Canada especially. And so I'm showing you today that you can keep the inner temperature at around 160, 165, even 155 if you want. It can be a little bit more pink. It makes it a little bit more juicy, more flavorful. But what we're also doing is we're just kicking it up, shall we say, a little bit, by stuffing it with this orzo pasta in our cream cheese sauce, which has got bacon in it, cream cheese. There's garlic. We got a little hot sauce in there, and now we're ready to stuff it. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can take a spoon. And you can take this and you can just, kind of cram it in, because we've already cut the pork pockets into the pork. So, you can cram it in with a spoon if you want, but there's always easier ways, right?
Always.
So what I've done is you can go get these plastic injectors.
Oh boy.
Syringes that you use to inject your turkey or your roast or whatever with all kinds of flavorings like broth or butter or whatever. And it usually comes with a great big needle. Well, I've decided that I'm going to take that needle and cut it right off. So now I've just got the actual injector part. So this way, now, it may take a little longer, but it's more fun. Now, so what you do is you just take your stuffing and you just put it into the injector, just like that, right? It's actually not taking too long.
No, not at all.
And then you just pop it in there. Yeah, okay, never you mind. Never you mind.
Hey, this is entertaining. This is great. This is
okay, so now we're just about there.
The fun part's going to happen here.
See? Right? Done. It's all ready to go.
You just shoot that right in the mouth. Just
right. Oh,
it's like a shot. Just
Should I? Should I really?
Do it.
No, later. We'll do it later.
All right.
Okay, so now you take your pork loin. You've got the hole cut in it already, the nice little pocket. So now what you do is you insert your injector, and all you do is this.
Fire.
And look what happens. You've got a nice...
yeah, that's perfect.
See how perfect that is? You close it up, and you've got it right there. Now, you can close it up with a toothpick if you want. Mm-hmm. I don't bother. You know what? It's okay. So now, it's done, just like that. We're going to put all this filling, not all of this, we got way more filling than what we need, but that's okay. We still got a lot of meat, too, if we want to do the rest of it. But anyway, for these four, we're going to stuff these up and hang in there. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got our pork loin all stuffed and ready to go with the orzo mac and cheese bacon stuffing.
Oh, looks so good.
We're gonna just season it up. All you need is just a little bit of salt and pepper. I mean, if you want to brine the pork loin, you can. That's fine. That also helps out with making it more juicy and moist. Mm-hmm. But if you cook it properly, you should be fine. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. That's all you need. And we are gonna take these out to the grill.
Yeah.
The Pirate Bar, here we come on Cook with Shaq.
Sponsored by Sask Pork. Saskatchewan's pork producers are committed to sustainable production of safe, healthy pork for you and your family. For recipes and more, visit saskpork.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Hey, welcome back. It's Cook with Shaq. Guess where we are, Harrison?
Oh, yeah.
We're at the Pirate Bar.
This is awesome.
In my backyard, and we're going to get to the cooking in just a couple of seconds, but I got to show you some. We've had a lot of time to do stuff around the house. I know a lot of people have done DIY stuff. I decided to build a bar. Outdoor kitchen, the whole works. So I got water in here. I got all kinds of stuff. I got my own pop machine. Here, check this out. If you wanted some pop, instead of paying $5,000 for a pop machine, I made my own. Look at this.
Look at that.
You can just, there you go. There's a little pop machine for you. So another thing too is, it's NFL football time, right? You want to watch football? Well, do it at your Pirate Bar, and check this out.
Whoa!
Yeah, sure. We got a little TV.
Look at that.
Yeah, we're good to go on the TV. Watch a little bit of NFL.
Perfect.
When you're done, hey, let's put it back up again.
That's
sure.
awesome, man.
And of course, the highlight of the entire bar, Harrison.
Yes.
I'm gonna pour one out for you.
Oh, thanks, Shaq.
Look at that.
I've heard about this bar, and I've been waiting for this beer. This is good stuff.
There you go, my friend.
Cheers. Thank you.
Drawing a draft for you.
Oh, man, this is awesome.
Oh, that's a good one,
Thank
hey?
you.
That's from our good friends at 21st Street Brewery. That's called Uptown Brown, by the way.
That is good.
Anyway, let's get back to the cooking, shall we? We can drink all night, but let's get back to the cooking. So we've got our mac and cheese bacon stuffed pork loins on the grill, and look at that. They've got the nice caramelized brown. So you don't need a whole lot of salt and pepper or anything on here. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. If you want to put like your favorite seasoning salt, you can do that too. But there's a lot of flavor going on right there. So now it's always nice to have one of these, especially when you're cooking meat. If you want it to be medium rare, if you're doing beef, or if you're doing any kind of roasts or anything like that, and you want to make sure that it's the temperature that you need, and without having to cut into it all the time to see, oh no, it's not quite done yet, or it's too much, whatever. Get yourself a little thermometer, meat thermometer, and it'll be able to tell you exactly what's going on. So let's take a temperature. We want about I'm saying about 160. So we are getting close. We're at about 150 now. So we have probably got about a couple more minutes on those. Let's try this one here, because sometimes the different parts of your grill are hotter than others.
Oh, I probably got time for one more beer, eh?
These are just about ready to go. We've turned them down a little bit. Now, before we plate up, I am going to tell you about the sauce. Now, I'm going to take it off the burner right now. But what we've done is I've made a cranberry glaze, and very simple. Just some ketchup, a little bit of crushed garlic in there, a little bit of brown sugar, cranberry concentrate frozen juice. Okay, don't get the stuff in the bottle because it's too thin. You want the syrupy stuff, right? Put that in, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of hot sauce, and I think that's pretty much it. And then you just give it a good stir around, heat it up, let it thicken up a little bit. Got your glaze, you're good to go.
Perfect.
All right, so let's take a look one more time at our chops. We'll call them chops, even though they're pork
Chops
loin.
and beer.
Pork loin chops. Okay, we're gonna crank the heat a little bit more, and just to get a little bit more caramelization on the other side, I turned it down a little bit. So, all right, we're gonna let those go for a couple of seconds, and we're coming back with more.
Sponsored by Sask Pork. Saskatchewan's pork producers are committed to sustainable production of safe, healthy pork for you and your family. For recipes and more, visit saskpork.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
All right, here we go. Let's plate this up.
Yes.
Check that out, Harrison. Hey.
Close-up view here. Oh, yeah.
Check that out. All right.
Wow.
So now what we've done here, these are at a perfect 155, and let's play. See the juice? Look at
that.
See?
There's no dryness at all.
Remember what I was telling you? How Mom used to just dry and cook and dry and cook and everything. The pork doesn't have to be done that way anymore. Look at that juice coming out. Just check out that juice right there. So that is a perfect 155 to 160.
All right.
Let's cut this baby in half. And can you see the stuffing coming out of there?
Yes.
Look at that stuffing right there. So let's just, and it's so tender. Oh, look at it, it's just popping out like, oh, there it is. And so now see how juicy that is? You've got your stuffing in there. I'm just gonna turn this around because look, you can see the stuffing coming out of here. That's your mac and cheese bacon stuffing in a pork loin. Now, to top it off, let's take this incredible cranberry glaze. And we're just gonna do this. And we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Give it a little of that, and we're just gonna do a little smudgy right there just for creative purposes. There it is. There you have it. Stuffed pork loin with mac, cheese, bacon.
Cheers to that, my friend.
You know what? Let me just grab a little mug here.
For sure. Beautiful, man. Might stick around for a while.
Let's eat, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Cooked with Shaq, we're back. Thanks to our good friend Earl Pereira and his band, The Steadies, their new album. You've been hearing their songs throughout the entire episode of Cooked with Shaq today.
Sponsored by Sask Pork. Saskatchewan's pork producers are committed to sustainable production of safe, healthy pork for you and your family. For recipes and more, visit saskpork.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.